What would you do if you showed up to your best friend's fancy wedding in a $15 dress and every single person there started laughing at you? I'm talking full-on whispers, pointing fingers, and fake smiles that said, "She doesn't belong here." My name is Lisa Thompson. I'm 32 years old, and this really happened to me last summer in California. I wore that cheap little dress to my rich best friend Sophia's wedding, and everyone mocked me. But then her billionaire father pulled me aside, looked me in the eyes, and said words that made my knees go weak. If you love stories that start with tears and end with goosebumps, stay with me. This one's gonna pull at your heart the whole way. Hey family, if you're new here and you love real emotional stories with mystery and happy twists, please hit that red subscribe button and the little bell right now. It helps me keep making these for you. Thank you. Now let's get into what actually happened. It all started 2 weeks before the big day. Sophia and I had been best friends since college. She came from a huge mansion with maids and private jets. Me, I grew up with just me and my grandma in a tiny apartment, but somehow we clicked like sisters. She always said, "Lisa, you're my real family." So when she sent me the gold wedding invitation that smelled like roses, my heart jumped. I was so happy for her. But then I looked at my bank account and my stomach dropped. Dresses at the fancy stores started at $400. I had $23 to my name after paying rent. I felt so small. That night, I sat on my bed and cried a little. I almost decided not to go, but Sophia had been there for me when my grandma passed last year. I couldn't miss her special day. So the next morning, I drove to the little thrift store on Maple Street, the one with the yellow door. I was just looking, not expecting much. Then I saw it, hanging all by itself on the sale rack. A soft cream-colored dress with tiny lace flowers on the sleeves. It looked like something from an old movie. I tried it on and it fit like it was made for me. The tag said $15. I almost screamed with joy. I bought it, took it home, and felt pretty for the first time in months. Wedding day came. I did my hair in soft waves, put on the dress, and drove to the big estate. When I stepped out of my old Honda, my hands were shaking. The place looked like a fairy tale. White roses everywhere, a fountain sparkling, people in designer suits and long, sparkling gowns. I walked in smiling, but the second I entered the garden, everything changed. A group of women in their fancy hats looked me up and down. One of them laughed behind her hand and said loud enough for me to hear, "Oh, honey, did she get lost on the way to the dollar store?" Another one whispered, "Who lets their friend wear that to a wedding?" My cheeks burned hot. I wanted to run and hide. I felt so embarrassed, so out of place, like a little girl playing dress-up in the wrong house. I stood there alone, holding my little purse tight, trying not to cry. That's when I felt a gentle hand on my arm. I turned around and there was Mr. Richard Harrington, Sophia's dad. Tall, silver hair, the richest man in the whole state. He looked at me with the strangest expression. Not mean, not laughing, something softer, almost like he was seeing a ghost. "Lisa," he said quietly, "can I speak with you for a moment? Alone?" My heart started pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. He led me away from the crowd, through a side door into a quiet little room with big windows looking out at the ocean. He closed the door gently, then he turned to me, reached into his jacket pocket, and pulled out an old, faded envelope. His voice was shaking just a little when he said, "That $15 dress you're wearing? It used to belong to my late wife, Eleanor." He opened the envelope and showed me an old photo. My breath caught in my throat because the woman in the photo wearing the exact same dress looked exactly like me. Same eyes, same smile, same little dimple on the left cheek. Mr. Harrington's eyes filled with tears. He whispered, "You look just like her the day I met her, and there's something I need to tell you right now." Okay, family, if you're just joining us, pause for 1 second and go watch part 1 first. We left off with Mr. Harrington holding that old photo, showing me a woman who looked exactly like me, wearing the same $15 dress I had on. His eyes were full of tears, and he whispered, "You look just like her the day I met her, and there's something I need to tell you right now." Here we go. This is where my whole world started to turn upside down. I stood there frozen, staring at the photo in his shaky hand. The woman, Eleanor, had the same soft brown hair that fell in waves just like mine, same gentle curve to her lips. Even the way she tilted her head in the picture, it was like looking in a mirror from 30 years ago. My mouth felt dry. I could barely get the words out. "Mr. Harrington, what are you saying?" He took a deep breath, like he'd been holding this secret for decades. He looked out the big window at the ocean for a second, then back at me. "Lisa," he said, voice low and thick with feeling. "Eleanor and I were married for only 3 years before she disappeared. One rainy night in 1999, she went out to pick up milk from the corner store and never came home. Police searched for months. Nothing, no trace, no note, just gone." He swallowed hard. "I never stopped looking. I hired every private investigator money could buy. Nothing. Some people said she ran away. Others said worse things. But I knew in my heart she wouldn't leave me, or our baby girl." My heart skipped. "Your baby girl?" He nodded slowly. "We had a daughter. Sophia was only 2 when Eleanor vanished, but there was another child, a secret one. Eleanor was pregnant again when she disappeared. She never told anyone but me. She was scared of the family pressure, scared of the spotlight because of our money. She wanted to keep it quiet until the baby was born." I felt the room spin a little. My hands were ice cold. He reached out and gently touched my arm, not in a creepy way, but like a dad who's afraid his kid might break. "Lisa, the night Eleanor disappeared, she was wearing this exact dress, the cream one with the lace flowers. It was her favorite, simple, soft, made her feel normal in a world full of fancy things. When she didn't come back, the dress was gone too. Until today, until I saw you walk in wearing it." Tears started slipping down my cheeks without me even realizing it. "But how? How did this dress end up in a thrift store in my town?" I whispered. He shook his head. "I don't know yet, but when I saw you, standing there in her dress, looking exactly like her, something inside me just knew. I had the photo in my pocket because I carry it every single day, and the second I laid eyes on you, my heart screamed, 'That's her! That's my lost daughter!'" I took a shaky step back. "Wait, are you saying you think I'm—" He opened the envelope again. This time he pulled out one more thing. A tiny yellowed hospital bracelet from 1993. The name on it read, "Baby Girl Harrington." "I kept this from the day you were born," he said, voice cracking. "Eleanor gave birth in a small private clinic outside the city. No records under our name, she used a fake one to stay hidden. But I was there. I held you for 10 perfect minutes before she took you away to keep you safe from the family drama. She said she'd bring you back when things calmed down. Then she never did." My legs felt weak. I had to lean against the wall. All my life, I'd grown up thinking my mom died giving birth to me. That's what Grandma always told me. No pictures, no stories. Just, "She loved you so much, baby." I never even knew her name. And now, this stranger, who was suddenly looking at me like I was the missing piece of his heart, was telling me I might be his daughter. I looked up at him, tears streaming. "But, Sophia, she's your daughter too. She's getting married today. This is her day." He gave a small, sad smile. "Sophia knows parts of the story. She knows she had a little sister who was taken away for safety. She's always wanted to find her. But today, seeing you here, I couldn't wait another second." He reached into his pocket one more time and pulled out a small white card, a DNA test kit voucher. "I've already booked the fastest test money could buy. Results in 24 hours. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize and walk away. But Lisa, look at me. Look at this photo. Feel it in your heart. Don't you feel it too?" I stared at the picture again, at her eyes, my eyes, and for the first time in my whole life, something deep inside me whispered yes. I stood there holding that tiny bracelet like it was made of glass. My whole life suddenly felt like a puzzle with missing pieces that were finally clicking into place. But at the same time, terror hit me. What if this was all a mistake? What if I ruined Sophia's perfect day? What if I wasn't ready to be someone's long-lost daughter? Mr. Harrington, Dad, must have seen the panic in my eyes. He squeezed my hand gently. Lisa, we don't have to tell anyone yet, not today. This is Sophia's moment, but I couldn't let another minute pass without you knowing why I'm looking at you like you're a miracle. I nodded, wiping my tears with the back of my hand. Okay, let's just get through the ceremony. Then we can figure this out. He gave me the warmest, saddest smile I'd ever seen. You're stronger than you know, just like your mother. We walked back out to the garden together. The music was starting, soft violins playing Canon in D. Guests were taking their seats. Sophia stood at the front in her stunning white gown, glowing like an angel. She spotted me and waved excitedly, mouthing, "You look beautiful." My heart twisted. She had no idea. I slipped into a seat near the back, trying to disappear, but people still stared. Whispers floated around me like smoke. Still wearing that rag? Who invited the thrift store girl? I kept my head down, clutching my purse so tight my knuckles turned white. The ceremony began. The officiant spoke about love and family. Sophia and her groom, a nice guy named Ethan, exchanged vows. Everyone was crying happy tears, except me. Mine were a mix of joy for her and fear for what was coming. Then came the ring exchange. That's when it happened. Mr. Harrington stood up suddenly from the front row. The whole crowd went quiet. He walked straight to the microphone at the side of the altar, the one meant for toasts later. Sophia looked confused. Ethan froze. Guests started murmuring. Mr. Harrington cleared his throat. His voice came through the speakers, steady but full of emotion. Everyone, I'm so sorry to interrupt this beautiful moment, but there's something I have to say right now, something that can't wait. He turned and looked directly at me. The entire crowd followed his gaze. Hundreds of eyes landed on me, the girl in the $15 dress. My stomach dropped to my feet. 25 years ago, my wife, Eleanor, disappeared. She was carrying my second child. We never found her or the baby. I searched every day of my life, until today. He pointed right at me. That young woman right there, Lisa Thompson, is wearing the exact dress Eleanor had on the night she vanished, and she looks exactly like her. Exactly. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Sophia's hand flew to her mouth. Mr. Harrington's voice cracked. I believe, with every piece of my heart, that Lisa is my daughter, Sophia's little sister, the sister we all thought we lost forever. Silence. Dead silence. Then Sophia started running, not walking, running down the aisle in her big white dress, tears streaming. She reached me, dropped to her knees, and threw her arms around me so tight I could barely breathe. Lisa, she sobbed into my shoulder, are you true? Are you my sister? I hugged her back, crying harder than I ever had in my life. I don't know yet, but I think I might be. The crowd was stunned. Some people were crying. Others looked shocked. The women who mocked me earlier, their faces were pale. One of them actually looked like she wanted the ground to swallow her. Mr. Harrington walked over to us. He put one arm around Sophia and one around me. For the first time, I felt what it was like to be held by a father. He spoke into the microphone again, softer this time. The wedding can wait a moment. Right now, I just want to hold my two girls, and later we'll do the test. But in my soul, I already know. He looked out at the crowd, at the people who laughed at me just an hour ago. And to anyone who mocked this woman in her simple dress, you were laughing at my daughter, the daughter I prayed to find every single day for 25 years. No one said a word. Sophia pulled back just enough to look at me. Her mascara was running, but she was smiling through the tears. Lisa, if you're my sister, then this is the best wedding gift I could ever get. She turned to Ethan, who was standing there with the biggest, kindest grin. Ethan, are you okay if we maybe pause for a bit? He laughed softly. Baby, I'd pause forever for this. And just like that, the most perfect, imperfect moment unfolded. People started clapping, slow at first, then louder. Strangers came up to hug me. The same women who whispered cruel things were now wiping their own tears, saying, "I'm so sorry," over and over. But the biggest shock was still coming, because Mr. Harrington wasn't done. Mr. Harrington kept one arm around each of us, me in my simple cream dress, Sophia in her sparkling wedding gown. He looked out at the hundreds of guests, the fancy hats, the designer everything, and his voice came through the microphone clear and strong. Today was supposed to be about one thing: love. But love sometimes shows up in ways we never expect. And right now, love is standing here in a $15 dress. He turned to me, eyes shining. Lisa, whether the DNA says it tomorrow or not, in my heart, you're already my daughter. You've carried Eleanor's spirit with you every day of your life. That dress, it found its way back to you because you were meant to wear it here, today. The crowd started murmuring, soft at first, then louder with emotion. He took a deep breath and continued. For 25 years, I've built this company, Harrington Enterprises, into something massive, billions in value. But none of it ever filled the hole Eleanor left, or the one where our second baby should have been. He looked straight at the group of women who had laughed at me earlier. Their heads were down now. Some of you mocked this woman when she walked in. You judged her worth by the price tag on her dress. But let me tell you something. His voice got firmer, almost proud. 20 years ago, Eleanor and I set up a trust, a special one for our unborn child. If that child was ever found, they would receive 51% ownership of the entire family empire, controlling interest, not because of money, but because Eleanor always said, the person who carries our love forward should carry our legacy too. Gasps again, bigger this time. Phones were coming out. People were whispering, 51%? Like they couldn't believe it. Mr. Harrington smiled, a real, peaceful smile for the first time that day. So, if the test confirms what I already know, tomorrow morning, Lisa Thompson becomes the majority owner of Harrington Enterprises. Not Sophia, not me, Lisa. He turned to Sophia. Sweetheart, I know this is a lot, but you've always had everything you needed, and now you get something even better. You get your sister back. Sophia looked at me, fresh tears falling, but she was laughing through them. Lisa, I don't care about any of that. I just want my little sister. I've missed you my whole life, and I didn't even know it. She hugged me again, tight like she'd never let go. Ethan stepped forward, put his arm around Sophia, and grinned at me. Welcome to the family, sis. Guess I'm gaining a sister-in-law and a major shareholder all in one day. The crowd erupted, real applause this time. Clapping turned to cheering. Even the waiters and photographers were tearing up. Mr. Harrington raised his hand for quiet. The ceremony will continue, but first I want everyone here to look at this young woman. Look at her courage. She walked in here alone, in a dress she could barely afford just to support her friend. She didn't know she was walking into her own homecoming. He looked right at me. Lisa, will you stand up here with us? Not as a guest,
as family. I was shaking, but I nodded. Sophia took my hand, Mr. Harrington took the other. Together we walked to the front, me in the middle, still in that $15 dress that now felt like the most priceless thing in the world. The officiant smiled, wiped his eyes, and said, "Well, shall we finish this wedding and welcome a new chapter for this family?" Sophia and Ethan said their I do's, with me standing right beside them, no longer in the back row, no longer invisible. When it was over, Sophia tossed her bouquet, and guess who caught it? Me. Everyone laughed, the good kind of laugh. Later that night, after cake and dancing, Mr. Harrington pulled me aside one more time. He handed me a small velvet box. Inside was a simple gold locket, the one Eleanor used to wear. "Open it," he said softly. I did. 2 tiny baby photos, one of Sophia at 2 years old and one of me as a newborn. "Eleanor kept this with her always," he whispered. "Now it's yours." I hugged him, my dad, for the first time, really hugged him. And just like that, the girl who cried alone in a thrift store dress found her way home. The DNA results came back the next day, positive, match, 99.999%. But honestly, we didn't need the paper. We already knew. Love found its way back in the most unexpected, beautiful way. End of part 4, final part. Thank you so much for watching this whole story with me, family. If it touched your heart, drop a heart in the comments, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe if you want more stories like this. From a $15 dress to a forever family, sometimes the biggest blessings come in the simplest things.
Family, we've made it to the very end. If you've been with me through all 4 parts, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've laughed with me, cried with me, and held space for every twist. We left off with the DNA results coming back positive, me officially becoming Lisa Thompson Harrington, the majority owner of the family empire, and most importantly, a daughter and a sister who finally found her way home. But this story isn't really over. It's just beginning. Let me take you through what happened after the confetti settled and why this moment still gives me goosebumps every single day. The morning after the wedding, I woke up in the guest room of the Harrington estate, the same house my mother once called home. Sunlight poured through lace curtains, and for the first time in my life, the quiet didn't feel lonely. Sophia knocked softly and came in carrying 2 mugs of coffee. She sat on the edge of the bed, still in her pajamas, hair messy from dancing all night. "Morning, little sis," she said with a grin. I laughed, actually laughed through happy tears. "Morning, big sis." We talked for hours about Grandma's tiny apartment, about how Sophia used to wish on stars for a sister, about the little things our mom loved, fresh flowers, old jazz records, cream dresses that felt like hugs. Mr. Harrington, Dad, joined us later with breakfast trays. He looked lighter, like 25 years of heavy weight had finally lifted off his shoulders. He handed me an envelope. Inside were the official papers, 51% ownership transferred. But he didn't make a big deal about the money. Instead, he said, "Lisa, this isn't about power, it's about promise. Your mother always said the company should belong to someone who remembers what really matters. Kindness, family, second chances. That's you." I cried again, but good tears, the kind that wash everything clean. Over the next few weeks, life changed in the most beautiful ways. Sophia and I started doing sister things, thrift shopping, yes, we still love $15 fines, late night talks, planning little trips. Ethan became the goofy brother-in-law who teases me about being the boss now. Dad and I went through old photo albums. We found letters Eleanor wrote but never sent, full of love for both her girls. One ended with, "If life pulls us apart, find each other. Love always wins." And she was right. The people who mocked me that day, some reached out with real apologies. I forgave them, not because they deserved it right away, but because carrying anger would have dimmed the light I finally found. Today, I still wear simple dresses sometimes, not because I have to, but because they remind me where I came from and how far love carried me. If you're watching this and you've ever felt like you don't belong, like you're too small, too broke, too wrong for the room, hear me. The most priceless things in life don't come with price tags. They come with heart, and heart always finds its way home. So keep showing up, keep being kind, keep wearing whatever makes you feel like you, because one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day the door will open, the hand will reach out, and you'll realize you were never lost. You were just waiting to be found. Just a quick note before we close. This is a fictional original story created for entertainment and inspiration. Names, events, and details are made up to share a message of hope, family, and never judging someone by appearances. If it felt real, that's because love like this does exist in the world. Maybe not exactly like this, but in 1,000 quiet, beautiful ways every day. Thank you so much to YouTube and the entire YouTube team for giving creators like me a place to share stories that touch hearts. Thank you to every single one of you watching, your comments, your shares, your love. It means the world. If this story moved you, leave a heart below and tell me in the comments, what's one moment in your life where love showed up when you least expected it? Subscribe if you want more heart-first stories, hit the bell so we never miss each other, and remember, you are worthy, you are enough, and you are so deeply loved, exactly as you are. Until next time, keep shining. I'll see you soon.